Walking Distance is one of my favorite episodes of the Twilight Zone. It's the first one I really connected to personally, and I'm not alone. It's one of the most revered installments of the whole series. I'll say right away, it's a strong recommendation from me. Initially, this was one of Rod Serling's favorite episodes too, but on the Blu-ray, there's audio from a lecture he gave in 1975 where he criticizes his script structure and some of the main characters' dialogue. Regardless, it's notable for, in my opinion, some very heartfelt and poignant writing, amazing direction from Robert Stevens, incredible visuals from cinematographer George T. Clemens, top-notch acting from Gig Young, and a superb score from Bernard Herrmann. There are lots of interesting little tidbits that go along with the production, like how it features an appearance from a very young Ron Howard, or how the neighborhood scenes were shot on the set built for the 1944 Judy Garland movie Meet Me in St. Louis. But as for this episode's contents, the story of our main character's journey into the past is what makes it a true television classic. Martin Sloan is a New Yorker who works for an ad agency. Burnt out by his demanding job, he visits his old hometown, aptly named Homewood. It looks like things haven't changed a bit, so much so that Martin slowly discovers everything is a little too similar to how he remembers it when he was a child, to the point where he visits his old house and sees that his deceased parents are alive, looking as they did when he was young. There's even a boy named Marty Sloan roaming around the neighborhood who looks exactly as Martin did when he was 11 years old. Sloan truly seems to be back in time, but the purpose of this predicament is something he'll have to look deep within himself to find. There's so much to praise about Walking Distance. It's one of those examples where every aspect of filmmaking came together to make a real gem. Serling's writing came from a deeply personal place, and that's evident from his narration and character dialogue. Cinematographer George T. Clemens brought us some of the best-looking camera work of the series. These shots are gorgeous. When Martin starts walking to Homewood, the camera pushes in on a mirror showing him walk away. The following shot sees Sloan entering Homewood's drugstore. After a moment, we watch the shot pull out of another mirror. This visually suggests Martin has entered a peculiar situation. Later, when Martin searches for his younger self at the merry-go-round, the angles are canted as things get more intense. That scene reminds me of one of my favorite Hitchcock movies, Strangers on a Train. That film beautifully utilized a carnival-type setting for its climax. The visuals go even further later in this scene when the dreamlike quality of the episode picks up. Martin walks past the children as the lighting dramatically shifts for a beautiful moment of melancholy sincerity. As the kids move past him, the camera pushes back, perhaps representing how the joy of childhood has left him behind. The strategic use of close-ups throughout the runtime also contributes to that dreamlike nostalgic aura that permeates Walking Distance. Bernard Herrmann was a music legend in the film and television business. His credits include Citizen Kane, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho, Taxi Driver, and so much more. He composed the music for 7 Twilight Zone episodes, plus the original intro and credits to the show. Walking Distance may very well be his best work for the series. If you get a chance, track down the music and listen to how the strings bring about a feeling of wistful longing and a twist of the mysteriously bizarre. After directing the pilot for this series, Where Is Everybody?, Robert Stevens returned for Walking Distance, but because he went over time and budget, he wasn't brought back. That was very unfortunate. His 2 episodes were strong early installments, and this one is commonly called one of the show's very best. He seemed to really understand Rod's script in a way that elevated it to another level. It's just too bad he didn't have the chance to bring more of Serling's stories to life. Academy Award winner Gig Young plays Martin Sloan with a confused yearning that's tough to balance. You really buy into his idyllic memories of Homewood. Seeing him describe them as he slowly figures out what's happening presents a shift in his attitude that was believable and empathetic. Watching him try to convince his parents that he's the adult version of their young son is a tragic scene.
Where is Martin?
I'm Martin! You've got to believe me, I'm Martin! You've got to believe me!
While that scene is powerful, it's pretty quick. The best one comes at the end. Martin tries for a second time to talk to his younger self, but instead frightens him off the merry-go-round, permanently injuring his leg. At that same moment, adult Martin feels the pain of his past self and now has a limp. After young Marty is taken away to a doctor, it sinks in that Martin's remorse and longing for the past has begun to physically hurt him.
Won't be any more merry-go-rounds. No more cotton candy. No more band concerts.
Martin's father shows up, believing his story after reading through some of the younger Sloane's ID cards and seeing the date on them. This is an incredible sequence. The writing, acting, and music fill you with emotion. It's a magnificent exchange.
You have to leave here. That little boy, the one who belongs here, this is his summer, just as it was yours once.
Martin's father gives him a piece of advice that he clearly never got originally. It may be cheesy, but in the context of the episode, it's perfect.
You've been looking behind you, Martin. Try looking ahead. Goodbye, son.
Goodbye, Pop.
Martin then jumps on the merry-go-round and we transition back to 1959 with a nice match cut of a record player. Martin is still in Homewood but now has a limp. It's suggested that he always had it, which means he changed his own past. However, Sloane doesn't seem to remember his strange ordeal. He gets back to his car with a refreshed, positive attitude. Then we hear possibly Rod Serling's best closing narration. It's too long to play the full clip, but I'll read it here. Martin Sloane, age 36. Vice President in charge of media. Successful in most things, but not in the one effort that all men try at some time in their lives. Trying to go home again. And also, like all men, perhaps there'll be an occasion, maybe a summer night sometime, when he'll look up from what he's doing and listen to the distant music of a calliope, and hear the voices and the laughter of the people and the places of his past. And perhaps across his mind there'll flint a little errant wish that a man might not have to become old, never outgrow the parks and the merry-go-rounds of his youth. And he'll smile then too, because he'll know it is just an errant wish, some wisp of memory not too important really.
Some laughing ghosts that cross a man's mind, that are a part of the Twilight Zone.